Jessica.
Hi, I'm Christeena.
And you're watching
Game of Tomes.
Today, we're going to be talking about podcasts. I am an avid podcast listener.
And I have never listened to a podcast at all. I don't even know how to get podcasts. I have no idea at all.
It has come to my attention that some people don't even know what podcasts are. So, a podcast, if you don't know, is where a person or persons sit down with a microphone. It's just something that you can put into your ear and listen to them have a conversation or them tell you about an interesting topic.
Okay.
Okay? There are podcasts about anything and everything that you can imagine. So if you're like a Game of Thrones fan, there's a podcast for you.
Really?
If you're a Harry Potter fan, there's a podcast for you. If you like science, if you're a stay-at-home mom, like any topic, there are podcasts out there tailored to your interests.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a plethora of places that you can find podcasts, like Google Play is a really good place to find podcasts.
Okay. I never use Google Play.
It comes with my Android phone. All right. So we're going to go to Play Music, which is an app that's already on your Android. Go to Menu, Podcasts. Here are her podcasts that she subscribed to, that we subscribed to just a few minutes ago. Subscribe. Boom. Now you have another podcast. So I'm here to give you some recommendations,
Okay.
for podcasts that I enjoy listening to. The first one is a podcast that I have been listening to for 6 years now.
Oh, wow.
It's the one that introduced me to podcasts. They have over 1,000 that you can listen to.
Now, can I ask a question?
Please.
Okay, so you can listen to any of theirs at any time?
Yes.
Do they come out with ones like each week, or is it just different station to station?
It's station to station.
But like they don't ever take off their previous podcasts?
No.
So if you go and find a station that you like, you can scroll back and listen to like the very first one they ever did?
Yes.
Okay. Can you like search it by?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, you can.
Wow.
I know.
Oh no! I found a sucker.
Yeah, just... Okay.
That's gross. There you go.
Whew.
I'm sorry.
Oh, gosh.
I'm impressed.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay, is Ear Biscuits one of them?
Yes.
So you can search like any podcast.
Yeah.
You can follow however many?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have 5 podcasts that I'm going to recommend.
Okay.
The first of which was the one that introduced me to podcasts, and then I found out that I really enjoy listening to them. Now, this one is called Stuff You Should Know. It's hosted by Josh Clark and Charles W. Chuck Bryant. Stuff You Should Know is brought to you by HowStuffWorks.com. How Stuff Works has a plethora of podcasts. I used to have the How Stuff Works app where they have all of the podcasts that How Stuff Works presents. They have Stuff You Missed in History Class, Stuff to Blow Your Mind. Those are 2 other ones that I enjoy listening to besides Stuff You Should Know. I haven't listened to those in a while. Oh, there's also Stuff Your Mom Never Told You, which is 2 girls who talk about women's issues.
Oh, cool.
And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So Stuff You Should Know, they are based out of Atlanta. They upload every Tuesday and Thursday. What they do is they research a topic and then they present that topic to you. And they do topics on everything from breastfeeding to grass. I'll tell you some of my favorites. Some of my favorite episodes include how LSD works.
Oh.
Lewis and Clark. They have one about Lewis and Clark that I found very enlightening and interesting. I did not know the things. I did not know the things. And they have live shows too. They do tours. And
cool.
One of my favorite live shows that they've recorded is about grave robbing. And I think they did that one in England or something. They travel the world.
Wow.
They're going to be doing a tour. I think it starts like this month.
Yeah.
And it ends with a show in Atlanta, and my husband and I have been talking about going to see them.
Oh, that would be so cool.
We've been listening to them for years, and it would be like, I feel like I know them. They have a really good rapport with each other.
Yeah.
And they go off on tangents about movies, and it's just really interesting. And their personal lives sometimes, and how their lives connect with the topic that they are talking about.
Cool. That kind of grounds it,
Yeah.
you know?
You feel like you have a relationship with them.
Right, yeah.
At least I do. They're rated G for content, I would say, personally. So you can listen to them around your children.
Okay.
If they're going to be talking about a subject that is difficult, they always put like a warning in the front. Last night, okay, so I listen to them as I'm falling asleep. It helps me focus on one subject, and I'm not thinking about what happened that day or anything else, and it helps me fall asleep. But last night, they did one on a true crime about an axe murderer who was never caught, and I'm laying there in bed and scared to death.
Her husband works night shift.
Yeah, I'm like by myself.
So, like, with 2 kids.
Yeah. And there's like this axe murderer that comes.
That's not funny, but it's funny.
It is. There's this axe murderer that comes and murders a whole family in like the 19-teens.
Yeah.
And I ended up listening to that whole podcast without falling asleep. And then I had to turn on another one, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, really, really good podcast.
Cool.
So this next one I found, I can't remember exactly how, but I was to become a new mother. And I was looking up, baby stuff, as one does, I think. I found The Longest Shortest Time, hosted by Hillary Frank, who has this really lovely voice.
Yeah.
And I could just listen to her all the time. She uploads, I want to say once a week. She lives in New York, and she started her podcast after she had a traumatic birth experience.
Oh.
She sustained an injury, and she was bedridden for a really long time.
Oh, wow.
And she wanted to connect with other mothers who kind of felt alone or had maybe a birth injury that they wanted to talk about, and how hard motherhood can be.
Yeah.
And she does it in a very journalistic style. She has like an interview for every episode. You will hear her talk, and then you'll hear a soundbite of the other person's story that they have to tell.
Okay.
And it's very well done. Some of my favorite episodes include Kamal Ball talks about sex with his mom. And that one is a comedian who gets with his 79-year-old mother and talk about her sex life. And it's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
It's hilarious. There was one about, she interviews first-generation women, and they talk about the languages that they speak in their home being bilingual, and what they pass down from their culture and what they exclude, and that was very interesting.
That sounds really interesting, with the bilingual and the 2 cultures coming together and like trying to struggle with raising kids who are growing up in one culture and you came from another culture, trying to pass that down.
And there's some things that they want to leave out that are kind of archaic and stuff. It's really good. Okay, so the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
Joe Rogan, do you remember Fear Factor?
Yeah.
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 Okay. He was the host of Fear Factor.
Okay.
And he is very prominent in the MMA fighter community.
Right.
He uploads a podcast almost daily, it seems like.
Wow.
Every time I go there's more to listen to.
Right.
There's almost 1,000 podcasts as of right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is. He has millions of listeners.
Right.
It's a very popular podcast. He's based out of LA, and he has a lot of celebrity guests. Sometimes they'll have a certain topic or an issue that the person who is being interviewed wants to talk about. He's incredibly smart and well-read. The podcasts range from science and health. He has a lot of...
So it's not all about MMA or anything like that?
No, he'll have MMA fighters on there.
Okay.
I'm not interested in fighting, so I don't listen to those. But literally there's like 1,000 podcasts. So some of my favorite podcasts, he recently had one with Megan Phelps Roper. and she was in the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this one.
She left the church. She was a prominent member, and now she advocates against them. She kind of realized that what she was doing was damaging to other people. She found the hypocrisy within her church, and her sister left together. And she talks about her struggles and how she came to terms with what she used to do and what she's now actively doing to help other people leave the church.
Right, okay. Well, that's cool.
She's incredibly smart, incredibly well-read, well-versed. It was a beautiful podcast. Oh, he talks to a lot of comedians as well. He's a comedian,
okay.
and he has his own, like, Comedy Central specials and stuff. And so he'll have comedians come in and they'll joke with each other. I should warn you, the language is, he just says whatever he wants to, and it is very explicit.
Yeah.
I've noticed, though, when he has a guest on that doesn't curse, he tones it way back.
Right.
But for the most part, there's a lot of cursing.
Okay.
Okay. There's also one with Chris Cage, who hiked the Appalachian Trail in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
He talks about his adventure, and it's really good.
Cool.
Also, the Russell Brand one was excellent. And they talked about, like, the meaning of life and whatever. It was really good. This next one is a LGBT rights activist and sex advice columnist. That is Dan Savage, who hosts the Savage LOVECAST out of Seattle. Also very explicit.
Okay.
He is very controversial, but his sex advice is really interesting and really good, I think. I enjoy listening to it. Don't listen to it around the children.
Yeah. Well, is that what the general topic that he discusses?
It's about sex.
Okay.
All of it is. I don't have any particular episodes that I'm like, oh yeah, I really like that one. But I've listened to it off and on throughout the years.
Good.
He and his husband founded the It Gets Better campaign to help prevent teen suicide in the LGBT community.
I've heard of that.
So, yeah, really good podcast.
Cool.
Okay, so if you're a fan of Good Mythical Morning, which we are.
Yes, we are.
I really enjoyed their podcast. It's called Ear Biscuits with Rhett and Link. They're really funny dudes.
Yeah.
They have some podcasts where they just talk to each other about a topic or talk about stories when they were young and that sort of thing. But for the first 2 seasons, they almost exclusively talk to YouTubers.
And see, that's really cool because I know like a bunch of YouTubers will make like, oh, you know, what I did and how I became big on YouTube or whatnot. But I think it's really cool that they took the time out to like interview them one-on-one.
Yes.
And actually like get the details and just, you know, their experience.
For sure.
I think that's really cool.
My favorite episodes include one with Falula, who I did not really know until I listened to that podcast. He's a German comedian / songwriter / DJ, and he is so weird, but so funny. He has a YouTube channel, of course. You should go check him out if you don't know who he is. I also really enjoyed the podcast where he talked to George Watsky, who is a rapper that I really enjoy listening to. He talks about how he raps really fast, how he became famous, which was through YouTube. He did that Pale Kid Raps Fast video that went viral. He now has albums that are out, and they are amazing works of art. He has videos for almost all of his songs, and they're very creative and interesting. He talks about his struggles with epilepsy and touring and mistakes that he's made, that he's come to
accept and
whatever. It's really good.
Cool. How often do they upload?
Once a week.
Cool.
They also upload the video from their podcasts onto YouTube, as well as Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan does the same. And Stuff You Should Know also has a YouTube channel, but they don't upload their regular podcasts.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I have.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, podcast 101 for me and all of you. If you don't know, if you're like me and clueless, like.
Well, if you have any podcasts that you would like to recommend to me, or if you enjoy any of the ones that I've mentioned, let's geek out about it. Thank you for watching. When you play the Game of Tomes,
you listen or you die.
come be our friends. Social media links in the description below.
And we hope you're listening to a great podcast.
Bye.
Bye. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
You were doing so good.